In Hell Let Loose, the lack of observation, information, and overall intelligence being given to the commander and leaders rapidly and accurately may have detrimental impact on the result of the battle. Without the proper placement and use of scouts out in the field, the commander will have a difficult time repositioning his men to address oncoming threats that could lead to losses and defeat. This is for you, Recon. This is Hell Let Loose, the reconnaissance approach.
Start shooting, throwing grenades at them.
Is that our friendly already that's showing this point?
No, their artillery's taken out. Artillery's down.
Okay.
Alright, hide.
Yeah, I don't think we get friendly artillery as attackers.
Run away!
I'll go put the outpost in a more conspicuous place.
Yeah, I better.
Recon plane up.
Now, before we dive into this short film, I would like to say that I am aware that this guide will most likely be outdated in the near future. I will be addressing the points that need attention as the game has significant changes due to the constant updates. When we reach the part of the film addressing dismantling enemy spawn points, this in the future will most likely be quite different. The developers have mentioned this, but nothing has yet to be seen or hinted at how it will ultimately be. The footage I am about to show as examples is already dated. I have recorded footage from U4 to U6. Anyone who has had the blessing of Hell Let Loose to get into a sniper role will understand why.
I'm getting another friend, by the way. I meant to make this private.
Oh,
Sorry, dude.
crap.
With that said, let us visually observe the information that has been detected and collected. When joining a recon squad, your primary objective is to not only spot the opposing team's movements, but to sabotage and harass the enemy. A recon unit is made up of a spotter, who has access to command chat, and of course, the sniper, who is the primary weapon of the unit. The spotter and the sniper go hand in hand. You cannot have one without the other and be critically effective. When both members of the squad work in harmony, they complement one another and are able to pull off incredible useful feats. Both of these roles have an obligation to each other and the overall team, especially to the commander. For those of you who watch my videos or meet me in game, know who I am. I main commander, and it can be quite infuriating when a spotter does not have a sniper as a team player, and vice versa. This game, Hell Let Loose, has nothing to do with individual kill-death ratio. It has everything to do with the team.
Lose! Can you put down the outpost? Holy crap, dude. Can you put down the outpost?
No, I put a garrison right there, dude.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm recon, I need the outpost down. Can you put down the outpost and spot for me?
Execute him.
Oh god, dude. I have been spawning stuff this whole time, but I can't relay it to you guys. I feel bad.
Yeah, it's good.
Alright.
I wish there was like a vote kick like you could do just without someone's team killing you.
I know. I mean, I assume he's new, but it's hindering. I told him to go rifleman if he doesn't know how to do the basics, but... oh well.
With the newly added commander ability Recon Plane, this does not by any means take away from the obligations of recon squads. The Recon Plane itself is slightly overpowered as of right now, and the developers have already stated they are taking suggestions to improve it. With that said, Recon is essentially meant to be out in the field for the team, behind enemy lines, at the flanks, or behind friendly lines to intercept the opposition. Recon is not meant to sit at a point to rank up kills. There are more effective tasks they can be accomplishing. Recon is meant to take out key targets if the opportunity arises. Since I'm main commander, I do understand the need of having a recon squad sit with defense infantry to provide support at times. I personally, given the proper intel and data, have made this call before. I do call out a recon squad to stay behind enemy lines while the other recon squad stay on defense to aid the infantry. This tactic can be very useful for the defense recon. Given a proper position, spotters can call out incoming flanks for the infantry and possible enemy outposts and garrison placements. The sniper then can sit on a fixed location and rank up kills to ease the incoming assault on the main point. Outside of personal orders from command, recon is meant to do the following: spot incoming enemy movement, dismantle garrisons, outposts, and resource nodes, place forward garrisons if able to, and deal with artillery. To sum it up, recon is meant to sabotage the enemy's advancements and help push their team's own advancements simultaneously. Let's break it down even further. Spotter. The spotter role is the leadership role of the recon unit. You have direct chat to other leaders and the commander via command chat. You are meant to spot, mark, and call in incoming threats to the squads the enemy is moving towards so they can prepare for the fight. You are there to take orders from command and possibly meet the requests of other leaders if you are near them.
Do you have a recon?
We have no command.
I said, do we have a recon squad?
Yeah, raising my hand in real life, I don't know why, but I'm recon.
That's awesome.
Unicorn!
They're artillery.
Commitment to the part.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
You are given tools to engage the enemy if need be, but it may not always be the most wise to do so. If you happen to see a large amount of enemies moving towards your front lines, it may be best to sit back, mark, and call out the incoming threats, observe where they are spawning from, and proceed with caution to dismantle their forward spawn placement. Infantry can handle opposing infantry, while you sabotage their ability to call in reinforcements so your team may advance their forward line. Make sure when the time comes you use your sniper to their highest ability. Remember, it's about being effective, not a kill count. When either tasked with or addressing artillery, this is where setting up a team plan to force the artillery crew to sit in the crossfire works best. Position your sniper off in the distance to get a different vantage point than you yourself have. Decide in the moment if you should engage the enemy or if you should delegate the shots strictly to your sniper. Taking on artillery over the course of the match can easily ramp up in how difficult it becomes. You are essentially sabotaging and weakening the enemy's advances drastically. The enemy team will be upset with you and do what they can to wipe you out.
In about 10
They
seconds.
just stood around shooting your
Roger
body.
Is it infantry?
Wow.
Roger.
Holy shit, they're mad.
Now, this is where the game needs some gameplay revamp, and for this, I will once again break character and drop my narrative voice. You see, the only effective way to deal with enemy artillery is to, well, camp it, which I agree is cheap and some servers frown upon this strategy, but at the same time, you cannot really blame it either. There is no way as of yet to dismantle the artillery guns. You are forced to sit and camp the guns or accept the beating they give to your team, which, let's be honest, is in itself cheap. A solution could be allowing only the recon to set out on search and destroy missions, where they have to plant charges on the guns and guard them until they blow up. Then either the commander could wait for a timer to run out before they respawn, or spend some munitions to get the guns back up and operational sooner. I personally feel that camping is cheap, but at the same time, it is what it is right now, so I don't freaking know.
I'm hoping to annoy them to the point where they're just like, fuck it, let's just not even play this game, like not even artillery, and they just move on to something else.
Yeah. They really need a search and destroy mechanic in the game so we can run up and put like satchel charges on it or something.
Right. It'd be. I was thinking like if you can put it like recon is the only one you can do it. Put it like satchel charges, and it will disable it for like 10 minutes. One gun. Like you gotta blow up multiple guns.
Yeah.
As of U6, the first reconnaissance vehicles have arrived: the American Greyhounds and the German Puma. Sadly, I was only able to obtain minimal footage of the vehicles, and for that, I apologize. I was lucky enough to get into the recon seat of the vehicle where you can load film to take a photo of the enemy that will display on the map for your team. On top of that, we were also able to pick up 2 soldiers and transport them up the road. Now, the odd thing about these specific reconnaissance vehicles is that in order to operate them, you have to be part of a tank squad. The developer briefing goes deeper into it, but from my first impressions and very limited time operating these vehicles, I was upset with it. I do not wish to dive any further into it, for I want to maintain focus on recon and not the hybrid vehicle that this really is. Perhaps in the future I will do a short film on the various vehicle types in Hell Let's Loose. I do believe this vehicle has its place, but as of right now, I wish we could have been given Jeeps that recon could drive.
What people really, really wanted was like Americans get the Jeep, Germans get the Volkswagen.
Yeah, and that would alleviate
And-
any need for another crew. Just let us.
There's no weapons. It's lightly armored. One rocket will take it out. Shit,
And
make
that's
it a
fine.
grenade could do damage.
Yeah, because we just want to get up to that. We want to get to H3 like immediately, jump out in like H4 or whatever, because they're gonna hear it,
Yeah.
and then move on foot.
Now, it is worth noting that American recon has a slight advantage over the Germans in terms of their outposts. Both recon sides have free range to place their outposts wherever they please on the map. There is no restriction on how deep you may place an outpost in the enemy territory. However, the American outpost is very low profile and can easily hide in the wheat field on some maps compared to the high antenna profile of the German outpost. Either way, be sure to place them somewhere off the beaten path and out of sight. And now, for the most difficult role to get into. Sniper.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm in the squad too.
Oh, how?
There was an opening, I popped in. I must have got between you guys switching around.
Can you leave?
Oh, but it shows. This is weird. It only shows 2 of us in.
I know, I can't. Alright.
That's why you can't pick the squad thing. Is there other squad still open?
I don't know, can you just leave the squad?
Well, if I leave, then I straight up lose a spot. But if you switch over, then you guys can.
Right, but there's only
you want
2 spots and we made the squad to play together.
Right. Well, I'm saying if
I
you
don't
switch, I can still stay a sniper, and you guys can take the entire other squad.
There is no
I
other
can't do
squad.
it by myself. Oh, it's
Yeah.
already gone?
Yeah, item is
Alright,
already
I'll-
taken.
I'll switch. I don't want to be a dick.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Alright,
dude.
thanks, man.
It's just confusing now. Still.
Both teams are allowed only 2 snipers. That is it. To get practice with this role takes either having a friend to join or luck. I happen to have both. Thank you, Boone. Now, we will have to dive a little bit into history to understand the sniper role in World War II. To begin, this will bring everything full circle. It needs to be stated that one of the most successful snipers in recorded history, with a total of 309 confirmed kills, goes to a Red Army female sniper nicknamed Lady Death. In World War II, the technology for long-range sniping abilities were primitive. Both Germany and the US forces used low magnifying scopes overall. It was an emerging technology that was in need over the course of the war that the Red Army was leading in. The Americans used the 1903 A3 Springfield sniper scope. This weapon is World War I technology. What the Americans did was remove the iron sight and fit it with a scope. This is the reason you load a single round into the rifle due to the scope blocking the clip feeder. This weapon was not designed with extreme range in mind come the 1940s. Scopes for all sides of the war were purpose-built due to battlefield awareness and the preference of the sniper. Case in point, Germany believed in sharpshooting and started to equip the ZF-41 1.5 zoom telescopic sight to the Kar 98K rifle for infantry. By 1945, 100,000 of these scopes had been produced. However, snipers did not find this scope useful to them. They instead preferred the superior captured Red Army sniper rifles at the time. Basically, you can tell this even in-game, and now it may make more sense. The wider peripheral scope on the US Springfield had to do with technology, and a bit of preference. The more zoomed-in Germany 8x42 scope came later in the war due to the same reason. And just like real life, you will have a preference of which scope you will prefer. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. You can easily tell this by which map you happen to be playing on.
The zoom is useless.
No matter which one you prefer, you will most likely be aiming at your target from long range and will have to lead your target in order for your shot to make contact. Remember, you are the spotter's weapon. You are to follow their lead, but also Take initiative if the opportunity presents itself to you. Both of you have an obligation as a recon unit to stay low, crawl, and prone through the terrain when near enemies. When running and sprinting, you make noise that could compromise your position. You are there to take out key targets and mark incoming threats for your team. You will not be able to pull these feats off if you are dead. Recon. You are the eyes on the back of the head for your team. You are the saboteur behind enemy lines. You are the data collectors, information gatherers, sharpshooters, and above all else, you are the intelligence.
All the maps really kind of change. As soon as you go recon, it really changes the whole entire game. It makes you feel like you're playing like a PS2 Medal of Honor World War II game where you have to like sneak.
I was just gonna say Ghost Recon, but yeah, it's not really a sniper game, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's that same kind of
Yeah.
it's that gameplay of like not so much engaged with the front line. You're trying to like outsmart them.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like about Tank too.
Yeah, it's all about like being more strategic instead of just running and gunning.
Perhaps in the future I will do a short film on the various types in Hell Let Loose. What? I totally missed a word. Position your sniper off in the distance to get a different vantage point. Damn it! Just say the line! You are meant to spot, mark, and call in incoming threats to the squads the enemy is moving towards so they can prepare. I was so close!